I ever told you about that time out there in Zavala, Texas, when at the dead end off Nature's River?
I never heard that one. That was fun.
Turned around and headed in there, and we noticed when we drove along that, it was about a mile, almost a mile and a half road to get back there to this old sawmill that was back at the back side of it. Me and Kumbo, I was in Kumbo's truck, and we started heading south, and we crossed over this little rise. Well, when we crossed over the rise, looked off down the road, and something was standing in the middle of the road, and Kumbo said, "What the heck is that?" The closer we got, they split off. The bigger one went to the Kumbo side of the road. The littler one went over on my side of the road. I was sitting in the passenger seat. And Kumbo said, "Damn, they were boogers," and that's what there was. The big one split off to the left and the other one to the right. Well, Sammy Armstrong was sitting in the seat behind me, and he had a spotlight and I had a spotlight. Kumbo couldn't keep up with the one on his side of the truck. He had no spotlight. He was driving the truck. So we just started centering on the one on my side of the road. And we both at times would have the spotlight on him together. And what he'd do, he was running through them trees about 30 yards off the road, and we was keeping him in the spotlight. You know, it's trees like these. And every time he'd stop and try to duck behind a tree trunk, one of us would always keep spotlight on him, or one of us would lose him, but the other one hadn't. We'd tell Kumbo, "Stop right here, right here." He'd stop right there. Bigfoot, he was about 7 foot tall. Kind of young, I figured he was. He'd jump up and run again. What he's trying to do is trying to get across the road where the other one was. And we split them apart. And it got aggravated and run behind an old deadfall cedar tree that was laying there. And he got down behind the tree, and he'd raise up and he'd look at it, and then he'd duck down, raise up, look at it, duck down, and then he got pissed off and screamed at us real loud and went straight to the west. Well, we just went on, continuing on down the road to the dead end where we was going in the first place. Didn't think nothing else about splitting those two boogers up. We got down there at Dead End Road. We was in Kumbo's truck. There was a van, a woman out of Tennessee, we called her Mama C. She had a van. And there was another truck. We had about 20 something people down there at that bottom.
So when he went down there, he was still keeping himself, not crossing that road?
No, he done run away from the road. We didn't see him anymore. We thought messing with him was over with, but it wasn't. And we got down there to the bottom, so we started doing calls. Well, when we did, we had boogers all on 3 sides of us. And Sammy was at the back of the truck, and me and Kumbo had Bo, his German Shepherd. Well, we didn't pay no attention to Bo, but Bo had done turn around and run to the truck. And I turned around to look to see which way Bo had gone to, and there was Sam Armstrong, James's daddy, behind the truck. He said, "Come here, Bear, come here." I'll go back. He said, "Bear, there's some racket going on 3 sides of us, but back here something ain't right." And I got to listening, and something was tearing through them damn bushes. About that time, the whole situation changed. Bo had done jumped on top of Kumbo's toolbox trying to get in the truck, the whole 9 yards. So I started grabbing people and throwing them in the vehicles. We had already backed into the dead end. That it's kind of like a triangle down there. I think Mark and them got film clips of it, but we was parked on the north of that dead end, next to the woods where all this junk was coming from. And I finally got everybody loaded up, and I could hear sound like a freight train heading towards us. So I never even looked. Sammy, when he got in the truck, had left the passenger door open for me. I just dove in the open door, and when I did, I didn't see none of this. Sammy was looking at it from the back seat, and that rascal swung at my head and hit the damn door jamb and slammed the door to me. I jumped into Kumbo's lap saying, "Get out, get the hell on." We drove on out of there, got to thinking about everything later. That was the one we hazed off from the other Bigfoot a mile and a half up the road, and he finally caught up with us, and he was still pissed off.
17 years after this encounter, Laurie Dyer Hood and Lauren Smith, night callers, invited a team of 6 to put boots on the ground to see if this was still an active area. The topographical maps were scrutinized and studied to locate possible corridors that would lead in and out of our areas of interest. Almost immediately, we found possible tree manipulations where the woods met the road. We didn't have to go far into the woodline before we found our first tree break.
Parallel to the ground? See it through there?
I see it.
As researchers, we cannot stress enough that when you find that first possible sign, you go into tracking mode and find the next sign. Almost always you can line up the two, travel in a straight line, and more evidence will follow. The deeper we penetrated the woods, the more possible signs we found. Following what appeared to be a corridor, we found a large X on the ground. The trees that formed the X did not fall naturally that way, but appeared to have been moved from another location and placed there. Beside the X on the ground was a leaner that was stuck in the ground and leaning inside the fork of a sapling.
Stick stuck. Leaner. Stick stuck.
It's just odd. And they fall like that. Well, see, I was looking at the stick stuck in the ground, and then there was a leaner on a tree somewhere up through there. I was paying attention to that and didn't even. I walked right across the other.
That's right. Where did it come from? You don't see no spots where that's broke.
Yeah, that's what caught my attention more than the gigantic X in front of me.
Came off the tree right here that broke.
Which one? That's a different kind of tree.
Debbie ain't satisfied that quick. She,
I ain't satisfied. I gotta eliminate all possibilities.
Sure.
we understand that. That's what I was gonna say. Have you eliminated them yet?
One peculiar thing that none of the researchers had seen before were branches that were stuck into the ground in a noticeable pattern. These branches were 5 to 15 yards apart in a straight line for a distance of over 100 yards. Could a human have pushed them in the ground? Absolutely. This team won't speculate who or what did, but one thing was for sure. This team was in the wilderness.
Yeah, that's stuck down in there.
Look at that.
Can you pull it out?
Yep. And that one. That's in there deep. There's a bunch of them. I found another stick stuck. Now this type of ground, it's easy for a limb to fall and it stick in the ground.
They're stuck in there like
That one's stuck in further. And you can tell the ends of it are broke.
and the fact that
Yeah, there's one over there.
right here,
Over there. Yeah, I got off the trail. There's one.
I don't know though. I mean, that one's not tree.
That one's stuck. I don't know, but what gets me is they're in a line.
Yeah.
It ain't like we see them all over.
Well, this one's not ours. That one.
I mean, they're in a corridor.
They're in
Yeah.
a corridor.
They're going around. You can see it curves on around that tree right there.
And why ain't we been killed yet? Nothing. It was cool.
I still can't help but think this is a corridor through here because this stuff's thick right here. You
Yep.
got the water here, and if you're needing to move through here fast for some reason, if you're in a hurry to, let's say, get back towards the sawmill or
Right.
whatever, this is what I'd want to take. I wouldn't want.
And you can see across the water there's a little bitty ridge that runs over there. That'd be another good spot
Yeah.
because that's elevated all through
Yeah.
there. There ain't no telling. If I had rubber boots, I'd go over and look. I guarantee there's a damn path on that
Yeah.
top of that.
Yeah.
It's just eat up with deer, hogs,
Yeah.
boogers, dog weasels, and Filipino hookers. This is a cool spot though.
Yeah.
Once you get past that thick crap,
Yeah.
this is cool.
These two side by side. Both pushed over. Nothing on them at all. Both still alive. Just direct straight line across.
This spit distance of the other one we just looked at.
If you were walking down through here and
You got hit, it
there's that one, going down, correct those two. But there's nothing at all on those two.
Well,
And it was pushed over and broken. The other two down there.
well, take a look all around you here.
I know.
No, all around on the ground. What do you see?
Hogs.
Hog tracks.
Yeah. And they're making cover.
And making cover or putting them where they want them. Making them go either into that or out into that where they can't run real good because it's so muddy. Hey, just bear with him. I mean, really? How did that happen when it fell?
This one here?
Yeah. Or is this? What is that?
That's a different tree.
That eye.
Yeah.
How's a different tree? I mean, it's just kind of odd. I don't know, man. It's just weird. This whole area is just weird.
It is weird, but there's a purpose to it, and I think
it's a hideout. It's just a place to hang out.
well,
For cover. I mean,
too, I think it's a place to hunt
that may be-
because of all the hog tracks that come up here.
or both. A good place to lay up and use no energy, waiting for them to come along.
Yeah.
You know what I think?
It's all about energy.
What do you think, Mark?
Got that spare hammock in the Jeep. I think we ought to put Barry in here tonight.
And give him the flare and see, come
Yeah.
back in the morning and get him.
Come back and get him.
Yeah,
That'd be
I guess
alright.
I might go to Jackson.
Huh?
You gotta go home?
I might.
You gotta go work tomorrow?
I'm just kidding with you, Barry.
Oh, I know that.
But we got a
I'm
good
still
reaction
there.
out
I'm
of it.
staying over.
Night Callers, Bigfoot Radio.
This has been a Sawdust production.